Welcome to another social work exam practice session. In this video, I'm going to show you how to break down an ASWB social work exam practice question. I'm going to get straight to the point, so listen up. A social worker is conducting a family intervention for a client struggling with substance use. The client's family members have varying levels of involvement and differing perspectives on the issue. What should the social worker do first? A. Encourage each family member to express their perspectives openly. B. Establish clear rules and consequences for the client's substance use. C. Identify the family member responsible for the client's substance use. Now's your chance to pause this video to identify your answer. The correct answer is A. Encourage each family member to express their perspectives openly. So first of all, you have to understand what the question is asking you. So let's set the situation up. So we have a social worker that's conducting a family intervention. The issue is that there's a client struggling with substance use. The key point here is that the family members, they have different levels of involvement and they think differently. They have different perspectives on the issue. So what should the social worker do first in this particular situation? The social worker needs to encourage each family member to express their perspectives openly, right? Encouraging each family member to express their perspectives openly is the most appropriate first step. We're talking about the first thing the social worker should do in a family intervention. Because why? Because we're dealing with a family here, right? We're dealing with individuals and members that have a different perspective, different levels of involvement. So they may not even have a great grasp of the issue at hand to even begin working on it. And so this particular option, it promotes communication amongst the members, understanding, and collaboration. And it sets the foundation for addressing the substance use collectively. Again, this is not an individual intervention. This is a family intervention. So when you're dealing with, so here's a pro tip. When you're dealing with anything with family intervention, family therapy, or even group therapy, you want to think collaboratively. You want to think and look for answers that work with people collaborating together, or that would promote some level of collaboration, right? Because again, this is a group or a family intervention. Now, you may notice that there's 3 answer options. Now, this is key. I know that you're used to probably seeing 4, but what we do know is that ASWB has now begun utilizing 3 answer options for some of the questions. And so it's important that you know this so that you can be aware of this as you're moving forward in your test prep journey. So the second option was establishing clear rules and consequences. Now, while this might be important, remember, we are in the first step, the first phase. What should the social worker do first? This is not something that the social worker should do first. This is a premature first step, and it is more effective after open communication has occurred, okay? So if you choose an option, you want to make sure that, especially if it's one of those first questions, you want to make sure that this is the first thing that the social worker should do, okay? Now, in C, identifying the family member responsible for the client's substance use. That is a potential source of blame, and I don't know that this worker should do this first, right out the gate in meeting with the family, right? Because this could create a defensive atmosphere. It could create shame and blame, and this is not what we want to do in the beginning phase, right? As a first line of action for the social worker, right? So this approach is not aligned with the collaborative nature that a family intervention would require, right? Because again, when we're thinking about family and groups, we want to think collaboration, we want to think support, right? So in order to collaborate and support effectively, it's important that each family member, they're able to express their perspectives openly to promote communication. Remember, when you are taking the exam, a lot of these things and concepts, you know it. You've gone to school, you've been there, you've done that, you've got the t-shirt. Slow down, take a deep breath, and just focus solely on what the question is asking you only, right? Remember, I'm rooting for you, and go out there and get your pass for the examination.